everybody to Something More Allotments once again, and you're joining us here on our Grow With Us projects. This is Series 1, Episode 3 on how to grow runner beans. So hopefully, if you've kept up with us with Episode 1 and 2, you will have grown your beans from seed and they've then planted them in the ground, made your wigwams, and hopefully now we're talking at the end of July here, you should have some beans. You may have already started to harvest them, which is lovely, but the more you pick them, the more they're going to grow. So basically, we're now going to show you what to do once you've got your harvest, how you're going to prepare them, how to cook them, but more importantly, you're going to have so many beans. What do you do with them? We're going to show you exactly what to do with them. We're going to show you how to blanch them, prep them and get them into the freezer. So in the middle of winter, you'll be eating beans that are tasting so fresh, you'll be glad you did it. So we're going to take you through it. We don't have anything down here, but we're going to talk you through it. You'll get the gist. All right, so I'm going to now pick some beans and have a look what we've got on this beautiful wigwam here. As you can see, we've got some beautiful flowers. Now all these flowers that you see will actually produce, I don't know whether Kevin you can zoom in on this little tiny bean here, look. Can you see that? So these little beans, all of these were flowers, and these will grow into these gorgeous beans, and they'll get bigger and bigger, and some get really big. And believe me, don't worry about the very big ones. We'll tell you what to do with those ones later. So now you've got your beans growing, you're going to be wanting to pick them almost daily, really. You know, there's one or two here. These are a bit small. Obviously, they're very small and they're growing. But this one here is absolutely perfect. So what you can see, these ones are a little bit curly at the end. As they get longer, they'll straighten out. And they're still nice and flat all the way down the body. Although the beans are forming, they're not getting too big. That's a perfect one to pick. So you can see all the different sizes on this one. Let me put my hand behind. So we've got everything from the flower to the brand new tiny babies, all growing to the perfect one. Now, there's obviously quite a lot on there. I'm only going to pick the perfect one. So you just hold the top and pull, and there it comes off there. So we're going to pick a few of these. There's some more here. Look, you see this one? So this one's beautiful. All three are ready to pick. So you can just hold the stem and pull, and they just come away really nice and easily. They're beautiful. You won't get them any fresher than that. So you can have a look round, pick all the beans that you find, pull them off. You'll be doing that all day long. There's loads of beans on this plant. It's absolutely teeming with them. Some have got a little bit on the big side. So like this one here, compared to say that one, can you see? I don't know if you can see that, Kevin. It's starting to form its beans, and you can actually feel that they're growing. Now I would say that's going to be a little bit on the tough side. You've got two options. You could pull it off and compost it. It'll go back into the garden. Or you could leave that one till the end of the season where it'll dry out, and actually when it's dry over the winter, you'll be able to pop that, and the little beans that we gave you earlier, that's what's inside of there. But they do need to ripen and dry out completely. They'll go like a brown colour and almost paper-like. But they need that time to actually harden off, ready for growing for next year. And actually next year's beans growing just there. So you can leave some of the ones that have got a little bit on the big side. You can leave those. There's plenty more to go at. The main thing is if you pick them every day, even though that's a really long one, it's really flat. You don't really want, for runner beans, you don't really want the beans forming too much inside. You'll get little ones, but not many. Once you've picked quite a few, you then want to be looking at preparing them to eat. So we're going to go over to a different side where the table is, and I'm going to show you now what to do with these beautiful beans. Right, so we've picked all our lovely beans, and now we're going on to the next stage, is how to prepare them and how to cook them. So you take your lovely beans, and they're all different shapes and lengths. I usually just grab 2 or 3 together, chop the ends off. See, that one's really short. Just pull them all up, chop them all off at the ends. I put these in my kitchen caddy, and then actually they go onto compost later, so that's fine. Just do these two, and then go working your way through till you've done all your beans, and you end up with topped and tailed, and they're ready for the next stage. Now, there's lots of ways people can do them. You can actually just slice them. Quite a long job, I have to say, but that's one way of doing them. What I really like is this fantastic little gadget. You can get these from, well, there's various places, but you can get them from the Range sell these. These are lovely, and they're a bean shredder, and they've got, what's really nice, because some of the old bean shredders you can really hurt yourself by cutting yourself on them. This one's got a safety shield on it, so you're not going to cut yourself on that, unless of course you put your finger in, which you mustn't do. So basically, that little opening there, this is where your bean goes into that, and I'm going to show you how simple to actually have beautiful shredded beans, the sort you'd buy ready packed in the greengrocers. So let me show you. So you take your flat end that you've done there, you open this up a little bit, you push it onto the blade. This actually takes the sides off as well, so if they've got some stringy bits, this takes all the stringy bits off. Push through till about 2/3, and then just pull. And what you're left with is all these wonderful beans. Let me just show you actually how quick this is. So you take your beans, you push them through, all the little stringy bits are all hanging off the edge, look, like that. If it twists and breaks like that, don't worry, pull it through again and push. So you've got all of those. Woo, that one's broken. You can do that if they've got a little bit of a hard bean going on inside. So if it's very tough, I'd put that one to one side. You've got plenty of lovely beans, and they should fly through this little machine, and they're very, very quick to do, as you can see. We're down on the allotment, so we've got lots of people down here today. It's a beautiful day, albeit a bit windy. It's actually a gorgeous day, although we've had some horrendous rain. So I'll just do this last one and just show you what we've got. So what we've got now is all these horrible pieces there. They're the side bits. They're the tough bits that they cause people to say they're stringy. I'm not having that bit because that was a bit tough, so I don't want that. Got plenty to go at. And what you're left with is now a whole load of beans. So I'm going to just push those together because they're too long, and I'm going to cut them into 3. You don't have to line them up. And what you've got now is gorgeous, ready to eat beans. Those are now ready to be boiled. Now you couldn't get any fresher, so they don't take very long. The way to cook these is get your saucepan on a rolling boil. As soon as it's boiling up, a little tinsy bit of salt if you prefer. I don't bother, but if you wanted to, you could put a little tinsy bit of salt in your water, drop your beans in. Everybody's tastes are different, but these should take between 5, maybe 10 minutes. As they get older, you might want to do them for 15 minutes if they're a little bit tougher. What you need to do as they're cooking, just get yourself a fork, pull one out and just try it. If it's to your liking, they're ready. If not, leave them a few minutes longer. And what you're going to have there is a beautiful pile of lovely beans on your plate. That's brilliant, and that's how you cook them. However, this is Grow With Us. So this isn't a case you've just been and bought these from the supermarket. You're going to be picking these every single day, and you're not going to want to eat your beans all in one go. So what we want to do here is show you how to preserve them. So what we're going to do is show you how to actually freeze these, the best way to keep them in your freezer for as long as all over winter, and they'll be beautiful. So you prepare them in exactly the same way. So you'll have got to this stage, not cooked, they're still raw, and they're all ready as if you were about to cook them full on. You put your you put your pot on to boil, you have a rolling boil again, and you drop, I use a colander, on this occasion it's a chip fryer. I put all my beans in. You don't want too many, you won't fill this to the top. In fact, to be honest, I would probably do this in 2 batches because they need some room to move around in the water as they're cooking. This is called blanching. So what you do is you have your pot of boiling water, it's boiling up, you pop them in and you set your time. You press 2 minutes on your timer and you wait and give them a shake now and again. 2 minutes will soon be over. And as soon as the timer goes over, put them under your tap, cold tap, and cool them down straight away. Ideally, it would be great, because the main thing is you've got to stop them cooking, keep them cold under the cold tap, or on the second on, have another bowl of water with some ice in it and throw it into its little ice bath. That's after it's been under the tap where it's boiling hot, because you don't want to put the boiling hot because it won't cool them down enough. So once they've cooled a little bit under the tap, straight into nice ice cold water. That only needs to be for 1 or 2 minutes again. That could be doing while you start your second batch. So that's fine. Once that couple of minutes is over in the cold bath, just drain them off slightly, and I'll show you now what we're going to do with them. So now, I'll just show you what we've got. I'll pop this over there, Kevin. We don't need that now. That's going off to the kitchen waste. So I use just a couple of tea towels. So bear in mind, these are going to be very, very wet. So you've drained them off, you tap off all the excess water, tip them onto a nice clean tea towel on your baking tray. You need a baking tray to go in the freezer. Spread them out. Now they're very, very wet. So you don't want to be freezing them very, very wet. So you get your second kitchen towel and you just pat them. And keep patting them, and all the moisture will come off onto your thing. And then basically you've got nice dry beans. I then take them off the cloth, put them onto my baking tray, which I know will fit in the top freezer drawer of my freezer. And I've got a non-stick sheet here. Mine is also non-stick there, but actually they come off really easy onto that, and you need to be very quick when they're frozen. So you tip your beans onto there. You then spread them all out. Now obviously I would have done this pile as well, and I'll do exactly the same, dry them off. And actually this whole tray will take all of those beans. You need lots of room. It doesn't matter if they're slightly touching. The main thing is you're spreading them out and making them lots of space around them. You then pop, so with these ones would go on after they've cooled down and dried, and you end up with a whole tray of beans that have been cooked just for 2 minutes, that's all. And they've been dried, spread out. I'm now going to put those in my freezer for 2 hours. Don't cover them, just leave them exposed in the top part of your freezer. After 2 hours, you'll put your oven gloves on, because this is freezing. So you'd actually take them out of the, keep wanting to say the oven, Kevin. I don't know what's wrong with me.
Freezer.
I mean the freezer. Yeah, take them out of the freezer. Take a bag and a spatula. I've forgotten to bring my spatula. But the main thing is, by using a spatula, if you touch these with warm hands and they're frozen, they will defrost very, very fast. So what you want to be doing is keeping them as cold as possible. So I normally use a spatula, and literally, it's a bit messy, but they go in eventually. You kind of like scoop them in with your spatula, and then literally you put, I would have said that was probably 2 portions there, so probably have a couple of bags, half in each. Once you've got your desired amount in there, that I would say that's probably 1 portion in there. Once you've got the amount that you're happy with, you could have 2 portions, 3 portions. The main thing is you squash the air out, seal your bag up, and get it straight back into the freezer as quick as possible. And as green as they are, that's how they will come out in 3 months' time. So you could have those on Christmas Day, Kevin.
Wonderful.
And they're absolutely as if you've just been down to our beautiful allotment and picked them yourself.
Great.
And that's it. So this is it. I hope you've enjoyed doing your Grow With Us project. We certainly have. I'm really looking forward to speaking to some of you. We've actually got a few of these little gadgets to give away to those ones that have actually been growing with us, and so you can get started, but they are available from the range. Another place, I think Dunelm sell them, so you could try around and get yourselves cooking and freezing, because you're going to have lots of beans over the next few weeks, Kevin, I can assure you.
Lovely.
Anyway, it's going to be goodbye from me and Kevin for now. Next year we're going to do a different project, so we'll probably do, I know, tomatoes, I think. What do you think, Kev?
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, I think tomatoes. Not very good at them myself, so I'm always happy to learn as we go along. So I hope you've enjoyed this Growing With Us, and we really look forward to seeing your results on our Facebook page, and hopefully you'll join us again next year. Take care, everybody. Stay safe. Enjoy and grow with us.
Thank you, Dawn.
Bye. Bye, Kev.
Thank you. Bye-bye.